Alright, YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate that. Please comment, please subscribe. I do like the interaction with my viewers. And today I would like to talk to you a little bit more about Witcher 3. Because there's so much drama surrounding the Cyberpunk that I decided to wait for at least a bunch of months, I think 6 months or so, wait for the whole thing to be polished, basically. And in the meantime, I have a little confession to make, because I never finished Witcher 3. And I never played the expansions as well. So I have quite a bit of game to look forward to. And at some point I stopped playing Witcher 3 around level 24, 25, around that level. And I'm not really sure why I stopped playing it. I guess something else caught my attention. Or maybe I did burn out on the game, because there's so much to do. There's so many things to go after, whether it's a monster's den or the Witcher gear to find, or do all these quests. And at some point it just becomes a little bit overwhelming, I think. The lack of focus as well. But I decided to start playing it again. Right from, I think it was the main quest, the Battle of Morgan, or whatever it was, the Witcher Castle thing. So I am quite far into the game, in the main story, and I have to say, it really put a spell on me yet again. And I don't think Witcher 3 is a faultless game. Definitely not. I mean, there's lots to like. There's lots to like. I love the narrative. I love just the questing. It's every quest seems to be different. Although most of the time it just involves killing a monster or finding some item or something like that. But I still love that. I love the narrative. I love Geralt. He's amazing. But there are also things I don't like about Witcher 3. And I've talked about this before, especially the fact that everything in the Witcher world is leveled. From the quests to the weapons to the armor, everything. And I think it's to the point where it becomes ridiculous. Like when Geralt finds a stronger weapon, a better weapon, silver sword or steel sword or whatever. But he cannot use it unless he leveled to the same level as the sword, so to speak. And that makes no sense in the world of The Witcher. I mean, Geralt, if he finds a new sword in the world, he's going to use it, because he's Geralt. And he's not going to wait and put the sword in his backpack and wait until he's leveled some more. And I know that that's just part of the mechanics, and you know, it's an RPG, so you have to have some kind of leveling system in place, but it's just not very natural. You know, it's not like in Skyrim, or like a sort of a natural progression in the game. It's a bit artificial. But the thing that really puts a spell on me in this game is the world. It's the exploration. It's so seamless, in my opinion. You just go around and there's so much to see, so many places and locations. It all seems designed by hand. Nothing seems to be copy-pasted. And every location has a little background story. And the exploration is fairly natural.
What are you doing?
You know, in contrast with the leveling system, the exploration is really very natural in progression, where you would just be on a little boat and then you stumble upon this giant wreck of this shipwreck, on some island, and then you find a bit of loot, right? And it's enticing, although you know that the loot is probably just another sword or another trousers or boots or whatever. It is enticing, and then there's a little letter there that says something about the person who hid the loot, and it tells that at another location there's something else, and so you go to that other location. You come to this sort of this ruin of a tower or something, and then you go explore that, and there are cells there, and then you try to open these cells, and then these wraiths or specters, they come at you, and you find these sky cells like in Game of Thrones, right? These open cells where there's just a cliff below you, and there's this body, and there's the loot as well, and it's just amazing that such a natural progression in terms of exploration. I love that, and it's the best thing about Witcher 3 is the world. It's the world of The Witcher, so accomplished, I believe, and so charming, and I love the fantasy. And of course there's the book, of The Witcher, and so a lot of the lore can be based on the book, but even so, it's just, you find these notes and you find characters and it tell you something, and that's what makes The Witcher so special to me. And even after, I don't think I've played The Witcher for a couple of years, really, and I'm coming back, and it's just the same, it's the same beauty, and it puts a spell on me. It's great. So, yeah, I just wanted to share this with you and tell you guys that I'll be playing more Witcher after all these years, Witcher 3, and that will keep me busy, I think, until the Cyberpunk game will be in a state that is as much as bug-free as possible, so I can have the experience as intended by the developer. So I'm not going to bash on Cyberpunk. I'm not going to... there's loads of people that are doing all that and just talking about that buggy game, and it's obviously all true, but I think we all have to remember and celebrate why it is that we game, and that's because we get immersed in a world that is not ours, a game that takes you away into another place, another time for you to explore, where you are the central character. And that's what Witcher 3 does for me. So let me know what you guys think about Witcher 3, and maybe you have another game that you get that special feeling when you start to play it again after a while. Witcher 3 is definitely that game for me. Skyrim has it as well. It's never a chore to go back into Skyrim, but Witcher 3 is just so amazing in its exploration. It's free-form exploration, and I just love it. Let me know what you think, and see you next time.